Hi, welcome to this new tutorial. Today we are going to talk about why study politics or what is the importance of political science. So, without wasting much time, let us begin the importance of political science. This entire tutorial will have 16 major points which will help us to understand why study politics or what is the importance of political science. Let's take point number 1. The first point clearly talks about why we need to study political science. It's only because to understand the individual or citizen's relations with state. The very important part of this is that citizens are very important component of citizens. They are the one who contribute to the society state by paying either taxes or by directly participating in the form of election. Point number 2, to study political thoughts and ideas of the great political thinkers. In fact, over a period of time, the great political thinkers like Chanakya, Plato, Aristotle, and etc. have contributed a lot to the growth of a political science and a political thought by and large. Next, third, to understand the current political problems and find solutions. Political science subjects also talks about various issues related to state. It talks about various problems which common man suffers. Example, we talk about corruptions, we talked about basic human rights, and sometimes the human rights have been suppressed. There has been violence committed either by the group of non-state actors or sometimes by the state itself. So therefore, political science also talks about understanding the current political problems and finding the right solution within the framework of the society and a constitution. Next, to make people conscious about their rights and obligations or duties. Now, one must understand that rights and duties are the two sides of the same coin. You cannot enjoy rights without duties, and you cannot perform duties without certain rights. Now, rights are the most important aspects of any individual. Rights are the one which always help individual to grow as an individual as well as to grow his or her talent. Therefore, one must be conscious about his own human rights. Human rights which talks about greater freedom, trust, justice, love, rule of law, peace, prosperity, dignity, and equality. So therefore, political science enlightens an individual to know his or her own rights and duties and obligations towards the state. Next, it talks about to understand the current trends. In a 21st century and a globalized world, today's political trends are different. In fact, social media has become one of the most important changing trends as far as democracy or a people connect to the democracy. Beside this social media trend, we have more upcoming issues which have been debated daily either in the media in terms of electronic media, digital media, or print media. These are gay rights, marriage rights, equality, women issues, racism, equality, education, civil rights, healthcare, and etc. etc. Next, political science talks about to provide information about international law, international legislation, organizations, and maintenance of world peace and international brotherhood. And for last 7 decades, it is United Nations organization which has held its flag high in the support of a basic protection of human rights and maintaining some sort of a international order with peace and security. Beside UN, we have European Union, a cluster of nations which has put together a supranational spirit of the common understanding within the Europe, and this has become a classic example wherein an entire region can work together for a political, social, and economic growth of the region. And at very regional level, we have ASEAN, a group of countries from Southeast of Asia, and our very own SAARC, which stands for South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Now these are some of the examples which has worked out over a period of time to maintain some kind of international order, some kind of international peace, and therefore political science gives us a broader picture of how and why political science is important at international level. Now, political science is incomplete without understanding the role of political parties and pressure group. And therefore, the next point talks about to analyze political parties and pressure groups. Political parties and pressure groups are again very important institution of a democracy. There has to be a pull and pressure, and therefore within the democratic setup, political parties plays a most important role as far as delivering services to the common man is concerned, and therefore pressure groups also try and play a very important role on behalf of the public to put enough pressure on the government to deliver services for a common man. Next, political science is also very important to make people vigilant, develop a spirit of cooperation, adjustment, and tolerance. Well, a spirit of cooperation, adjustment, and tolerance is one of the most important aspects of human civilization. If we today talk about a growth of human civilization, it's all because of the man's contribution towards a common objective, common goal, either through adjustment, cooperation, or tolerance towards another community or another religion. Next, to study great political events like French Revolution, American War of Independence, and freedom movements of India. These three events by and large has contributed a lot to the greater prospects of political science. Example, the French Revolution has added on two very important aspects or terms in political science, which is equality and fraternity. Similarly, American War of Independence is a great champion of civil liberty and freedom, and India's freedom movement in India has again contributed to a larger framework of non-violence movement led by the great Mahatma Gandhi, the father of nation. Next, it also helps us to understand to form public opinion. Now, public opinion is one of the most important aspects of democracy. In fact, it is also been called as dissent. In fact, the opinion of public matters a lot as far as the functions and performance of the government, whether it is a democracy or any other form of a democracy. In modern world, the public opinion is one of the most important input in the democracy, and therefore the larger picture of political science also talks about the importance of public opinion within the framework of political science. In short, public opinion is nothing but the power which people enjoys in democracy. Next, to help people to safeguard their liberty. Freedom is the most important aspect of one's life, and therefore we must understand that man by birth has born free, and his freedom cannot be curtailed by any other organization. In fact, in the modern time or since time immemorial, people have fought for the very essence of a freedom and liberty, and therefore political science helps us to understand the importance of a freedom in contemporary era, as well as to appreciate and support the struggle for freedom and liberty. Next, political science also helps us to understand and prevent to misuse of power of government. Government is the most important feature of any state or a society. In fact, finally, what government stands for? Government stands for the people, because it is the people who have voted the government in power, and therefore it is government responsibility to fulfill the requirements and the needs of its citizens. But when government misuses its power, then it is the people by and large who have the power to take down that government democratically by the use of election and not the violence. Next, political science also talks about to study the quality of government and administration. The quality of a government and administration, it depends on how its citizens and subjects enjoys their rights and perform their duties and share their responsibility with the government. Another very important point to understand the quality of the government and administration is its democratic nature or the functioning. In fact, the best example would be election periods. Election must therefore conduct smoothly and freely without any interference of force, money, or any other sort of material things. Next, political science also helps us to understand the knowledge of political terminology. Political science is a very broad subject. It not only talks about politics, decision, government, corruption, democracy, affairs, powers, parties, ideas, citizens, but it also talks about elections, healthcare, decision, legislation, liberal political views, law, power, and etc. etc. Next, to develop and strengthen a liberal democratic values and awareness. Therefore, the core democratic values are rule of law, separation of power, representative government, checks and balance, freedom of religion, civilian control of the military, federalism, individual rights, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, common good, justice, equality, diversity, truth, popular sovereignty, and patriotism. And at last, political science also helps us to understand the political decision making process. The political decision making process is one of the most important aspects of any state and society. Therefore, the various institutions which has contributed to build this nation and society plays a very important role as far as decision making process is concerned. I hope you have understood the importance of political science. If you like this video, then do give us a like. Do share this video to the larger community of political science students. Please do comment and voice out your opinion. Do subscribe to the political science tutorial. Thank you. See you soon in next tutorial.